This is PC747, bringing you the latest in tech and entertainment talk. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time it is when you're watching this video. After making my last video about me hacking the Fire tablet, there have been quite a few people asking me to actually cover how to do that. So I stepped back thinking about it for a second, and I was trying to figure out where to begin. And what I mean by that is because I have to account for different people who are going to look at that video and look at this video and want to do that. And it can vary from a lot of people, from people who are very tech savvy, who used to root before and know what ADB is, to the people who don't have a clue. So I kind of had to decide where to start and so on. So I thought the best way to do that was to start from the beginning. So let's do that. And we're going to go very basic here. So for those of you who are familiar with this, you may want to skip to the next video or pretty much ignore this part because, yeah, we're going to very, very basic. For those who may not have used ADB or rooted a device before. So what is ADB? So ADB is Android Debugging Bridge. This allows us to talk to our Android device utilizing our computers. And believe it or not, your Amazon Fire tablet is built on top of Android. And a lot of people say, well, if it's built on top of Android, why do it not use Google Apps? Well, it's because for whatever reason, Amazon decided that they wanted to build on top of Android their own version of the operating system, utilizing their own app store. And you actually have that right because Android is considered open software. And what open software means is that anyone can use it. And that includes yourself. You know, if you decide you wanted to build your own Android operating system, you could do that. You could get all the tools from Android and build on top of Android your own form operating system, similar to what Amazon has done with the Fire tablet. And this is not new. For those of us who are who've been a part of the Android community for a while, will tell you that that is pretty much what a lot of ROMs were. It was pretty much a developer building on top of Android. Now, the basics to that, I'm actually going to point to other sites. And the reason for that is because the people watching this can have a number of different computer systems, from Linux to Mac. It could be a different Mac. It could be Windows 10. It could be after Windows 10, depending on when they watch it. Before that, for those who say that they didn't want Windows 10. So for me to try to cover each one of those, I'm going to always leave someone hanging. And if you look at my device, I run a Mac. So I will not be able to cover every operating system. So instead, what I'm actually going to do is point you to tools to actually help you set up ADB. Because at the end of the day, that is the hardest part, is setting up ADB. With that said, there are a lot of great tutorials out there that will guide you right through it and make it, you know, plain as day. So the first place I'm going to suggest you go, and I'm actually going to link the sites in my description of my YouTube video so you can see for yourself. But if you go over to XDA, there was a nice article written by Mr. Doug Lynch, and he wrote this in 2017. So a lot of the tutorials that he have there is going to be pretty relevant for today. So if you go over there, you'll see he have a way we can install ADB on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you will follow each tutorial for your particular system. It'll be set. Now, if you have a Mac, because this is something that me going from a Windows computer to a Mac computer, I really wanted. We have a link here on Droid Forums, and it actually came to be 7 years ago to be exact, by a Menticus. I'm butchering the guy's name, but he actually pointed this out on a forum, and I've actually followed this step and set my MacBook up that way, so that now I can just type in pretty much the same commands that are on Windows computers on my Mac terminal for ADB, and that makes things a lot easier for me. And that have been what I've been doing. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you have ADB set up is you're going to have to turn on developer options. And to do that can be different depending on your device, but most of them will have you go to About Phone, you go to the build number, and you keep clicking on it until you turn developer options on. Once you go there, you click on developer options, and you should see where you can turn or swap your options over to allow or enable debugging. This is going to be important because if you do not enable this, you're going to find yourself not being able to talk to your device. So once you enable ADB and you plug it in for the first time, make sure you prompt that yes when it pops up on your screen. Now, it's not going to pop up on my screen because all my devices have been enabled for this, but that is going to be very important. Now, this step of setting up ADB is very important and helpful for a number of reasons. Not just for your Fire tablet, but if you have a lot of other Android devices out there, you'll find you can use the same setup to run ROMs in devices or your other devices. On my Nexus 6, I'm actually running the ROM and I use the same thing. And yeah, for those of you who either want to pick up an older device and play around with that, that would be a good way to really dig into playing around with ADB. This is PC747. I wanted to take the time to start this tutorial by getting you started with ADB, getting you familiar with it. And one of the things that you want to do when you get ADB set up is to play around with different commands. Commands such as making sure that it can find your device. In fact, that is a good way to know if your terminal or your terminal is talking to your device or ADB is talking to your device. If you type in the command ADB devices and your device serial number pop up. If you type in ADB devices and nothing pop up, then something is not right. Whether you don't have something enabled, you don't have something installed correctly, or something. So if you're able to type in ADB devices and your serial number pop up, then you're all set. Then you can type in commands such as ADB reboot, which will should reboot your device, ADB reboot bootloader, which will boot your device into bootloader mode if your device have that command available. And those are the basic commands that for right now you should be familiar with and playing with ADB. This is PC747. Thank you again for watching. Leave your comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel.